Well, I've certainly learned mostly by making mistakes along the way, and getting better at it as I go. But I think, first and foremost, the science has to be absolutely top notch. The highest level of scholarship. One should be very self-critical about the science and not overhype it and not believe in things without the data to back it up, right? So I think one has to impose very high standards on the quality of science before even thinking about whether that science could spawn a company. Mm-hmm. And if you're confident that the science is at its highest level and it's robust and reproducible, then you also want to make sure that you actually have a technology or have a product idea that fulfills an unmet need. And, I think it's worth talking to people about that unmet need. One experience I had is back when I was at UC Berkeley, which is a world-class institution for science and engineering, but it does not have a medical center. So there's no clinical sciences at Berkeley. And so without having people around, like doctors who treat patients and who've seen, hundreds of different variations of the disease and so on, without being able to talk to them, I think it's hard to know what unmet medical needs really look like. And, you can theorize about unmet needs as a basic scientist, but until you talk to people who are in the trenches, on the ground, and see and are frustrated with not being able to help patients in certain ways, I think it's really hard to really understand the unmet needs. So being at Stanford has been transformative for me because now I do have much more access to clinicians and patients. And this has been a revelation for me in terms of understanding where there might be opportunities to solve medical problems where my lab or my brain is uniquely well suited to solve that problem. And that's the other, I think, key element of a successful company. You need great science, robust science. You need very clear unmet needs, that where there really is a customer at the end of the pipeline. And then, you really need to understand whether your company is the right company that has the unique skill set or the unique technology to meet those needs. And when all of those things line up, that's when the magic happens. So, my advice to academic co-founders or aspiring academic entrepreneurs is to think about whether they can line up those stars. And then I think it'll be a lot easier for them to convince investors to get on board with them and so on and so forth.